Okay, so today we're talking about language. So now that you know I'm a writer, you know that I feel strongly about language, or at least I'm tied to language. Um, and I sort of want to talk about things that are coming up. You ever had that experience of things all coming up at once, right? I feel like that's your life speaking to you. So I'm going to be talking about that. That's where I'm going to be starting. And so, of course, like many other things, this starts with a family argument. One of my family's favorite pastimes is to discuss what is the best way to be a human. What is the best way to live this life? And it was just the holidays, so we did a lot of that. And we're in the middle of it. My father is a doctor. He's a physician. He's one of the most learned people that I've ever met in my life. It's hard to go up against that, you can imagine. And while we were in the middle of it, he's saying, "You're getting hung up on the word truth. There's no truth." And then what I realized is that he was talking about an Emerson truth, this romantic truth of like something that's going to make us all tied in together. And I wasn't really talking about that. I was just talking about what is reality? What is this chair? What is it to be awake? What is it to have the spark of being alive? What is that? And so then I realized, wow, that's kind of hard to have an argument when we're talking about two different things. Then on the airplane home, I saw a young mother and a daughter. She looked like 1 or 2, and the mother was teaching her how to speak. She was teaching her new words, and she had a bunch of books out, and she was pointing to a dog, and she was saying, "Dog," because that's evolutionary, actually. The reason why we talk to babies like that, it's a chemical that comes into our body that makes us want to talk to babies and baby talk, and that's because they're learning sounds. But if you just were saying dog really quick, they might not get it, so we have to stretch it out. Dog. And it was so endearing. It was so beautiful to see this thing that's happened since the beginning of spoken language, right? That we've all taught our babies how to speak. And I was witnessing this beautiful, primal, ancient thing, but I felt a little sad. I felt a little tinge of heartbreak. And I was like, what is that from? And what I realized is seeing that glossy brown picture, that cartoon of a dog, and saying it out loud on the airplane, dog, that gives you a picture in your mind. So forever now, she can have a picture in her mind of what a dog is. But it's not like rolling around with your new puppy in the grass, right? So one of the words was mama. Mama. There was a picture of a mom and a baby, and she said mama. Right? So the daughter's learning, oh yeah, there's an old woman or a middle-aged woman and a baby in her arm. That must be a mom. I get it. Mom. Mama. But is that the same as when she got tired in the middle of the flight and the mom wraps her up in her blanket and she gets really warm and she feels the breath and the heartbeat of her mom against her? That's mama, right? So it got me thinking about language and about how far it can go. And I think that we get trapped there. That's the whole thing that I want to say. Is that in this time of being on the internet, which you are now, and this time of working 10-hour days in front of the computer at our cubicle, in our cars, talking on the phone. We're really immersed in this world of concepts, in this world of language, in this world as I'm telling you a word, you're going to have a picture jump up in your brain, and that's us communicating. But there's a richness that's really missing if you only exist in that world. I want to learn how to communicate. I want to communicate to you. And with the richness of when you say mama, to feel the heartbeat and the slow breath instead of seeing that glossy picture. I think a lot of our expectation and our anxiety comes from trying to match our life to the picture, right? We have a picture of the ideal life, which comes from language usually. You know, I want to be rich, I want to be happy, I want to be partnered with someone great, I want to have a job that's meaningful. And what we're doing is we take a list of words and then we match them with the glossy pictures in our mind, and then we try to match our life to those glossy pictures. That's backwards. That's backwards thinking. We don't want to take the texture of real life with its fur and its heat and its iciness and its sorrow and its joy and all of that and match it to a picture or a word. Those are just sounds. Those are just graphemes and phonemes. We want to experience the richness of life, and so I guess my advice, if I can offer it, is when we feel that anxious feeling that my life is not going the way that I want it to go, I have these words, I have these goals in my mind, and it doesn't seem to match up. Maybe we should stop, look at those words, and then let them go. The way you would watch a car go by or a ship go by. And then try awkwardly, because it's really hard to be totally soaked in a world of concepts and then try to be in a body. It's really hard, so it's going to feel awkward. But I'm asking you, I'm calling on you to step into the richness of sensation and try to communicate with yourself what you want through sensation. And maybe if you're having trouble communicating to someone, you know, that happens a lot. Me and my partner have trouble in that sometimes. If I mean something and they're hearing something different, that's because our words and our glossy pictures are not matching up. But if you notice, there's a lot less room for misinterpretation through sensation. Isn't that true? If I put my hand on your shoulder and I look into your eyes and I take a deep breath, it's hard to misinterpret that I am coming with aggression. I'm not coming with that. So if you're a writer and you're saying, okay, I'm listening to you because I'm a writer. What does this have to do with me? I need to use language. That's my medium. That's my medium. So we are in this world of concepts, and the words have become these glossy pictures. They're stuck in those, right? And so the more we use them, the more removed they are from what I'm saying sensation is, which is what you're trying to give someone as a reader, right? So a practice is if you are writing, and the words are not bubbling up in you with sensation, probably it's not going to communicate that to a reader. So that's a good way to start. So if you're writing and you're not feeling what you're writing, but you're only thinking what you're writing, right? That'd be a good place to stop and try to fill that word that you want to use again. Maybe somebody is having a breakthrough in your novel. Okay? Someone's having a breakthrough. Breakthrough. That's, I'm a poet. Breakthrough. I don't really relate to that word and sound. Right? Breakthrough. But that's such a potent experience, having a breakthrough. So instead of saying it and then registering it with that picture in your brain, say it, take a deep breath, and feel your own breakthroughs. Feel all the memories, every fiber of them, right? Go out in the world and witness someone. Have one, go for a walk, you probably have one. I have one of those when I walk a lot. Because that's where life is. That's where truth, reality is. It's in being alive with these sensations and this breath and this heart that's beating constantly, right? I truly, at the end of what I'm going to say now, what I want you to hear from me, if you can, in these messy words, is that I feel like a deeper connection to living is felt through our bodies and through silence, through experience. Feeling the wind on your face is different from me saying it to you and you remembering it, or you imagining it in a movie. And I wish for you to have that richness in your life all the time. So, let's go over. If you're feeling anxious because your real life is not matching up with your goals, maybe you want to step back and realize that your goals are just glossy pictures and have nothing to do with what real life is all about. Happiness. What is happiness? What is your picture that comes up in your brain? Ding, what's that light bulb say? And then maybe you'll notice in your actual blood pumping life, in the life that you use your breath in and you touch your friends in, that happiness doesn't even look like that picture at all. And maybe actually you are happy. Okay, so if you're anxious, let's try to stop matching your bloods and guts life to the glossy word life. So let's do that. If you're a writer and you're having a writer's block, or your writing has become thin, it doesn't have all that richness to it. Maybe it's because all of your words have become these concept, ethereal things, and they're not connected to the viscera, right? So, my homework that I'm giving out to you is to test this out for yourself. How is language different from experience? And how do they inform my life? Is there a balance? Is there a balance of how much I trust sensation and how much I trust the words that I tell myself and other people tell me? How much of my life is ruled by language and how much of my life is ruled by me being an awake being walking around on the real earth that's spinning in the universe?